Hello everyone, this is Raji. In association with AKST, today let us learn about copy activity in Azure Data Factory. So I have already opened portal.azure.com. In this, let us open our data factory. So here let us open start authoring and monitoring your data pipelines. See, we have already created a one copy data activity. In here we have the option to copy the data. The copy data activities is the core activity in Azure Data Factory. You can copy data to and from more than 90 software as a service applications, on-premises data stores such as SQL Server and Oracle, and cloud data stores. During copying, you can define and map columns implicitly or explicitly, convert file formats, and even zip and unzip files all in one task. So let us see the overview of copy data activity. If we select this one, you can see the copy data activity are divided into 6 parts: general, source, sync, mapping, settings, and user properties. First, let us see about general. In general, we can name the copy data name. Here, name, we can change the name here. So, this is for naming purpose. And description. Here, we can write the description about this one. Next, we have timeout option here. You can change the copy data activity policies for active activity timeout, retry attempts, retry interval, and whether or not to log input and output details. Here in the see here give maximum amount of time and activity can run. So the maximum amount of time allowed is 7 days. Here it is given policy also. These policies are available for the execution activities. So here in the copy data activity, if you click the source code, here the source code is opened. Next, we can see next source. Here in source, here where we specify the which data sets you want the data to copy from and to. Source and sync. From which data set to which data set, we select these two using source and sync. So here if we select the binary, we have several options. For each different type of data sets, we have different if options available here. For SQL database, we have different options available here. So there are different type of, we can create different type of data sets because about 90 connectors are available in Azure Data Factory. So this is about source and sync. Coming to mapping. So mapping So mapping in the copy data activity, you can map columns from the source to the sink implicitly or explicitly. What is implicit mapping means? It is default. If you leave the mapping empty, Azure Data Factory will do its best to map columns by columns names. Another one, second method is explicit mapping. Here in explicit mapping is when you decide how to map columns from source to the sink. If you have to do this if the source and sink are different. You can create the maps or you can also delete these mappings. Next option available is settings. You can adjust the copy data activity settings for data integration units. Degree of copy parallelism, fault tolerance, enable logging, enable staging. So first one, data integration unit. Azure Data Factory runs on a hardware managed by Microsoft, as we know. So you can't configure this hardware directly, but you can specify the number of data integration units. You want to copy you want the copy data activity to use. One data integration unit represents some combinations of CPU, memory and network resource allocations. So this is about data integration unit. And next one is degree of copy parallelism. It specifies the number of connections that can read from your source or write to your sink in parallel. Next, fault tolerance. Fault tolerance is nothing but skip and log incompatible rows, or you can abort activity of first inactive rows, or skip incompatible rows, skip missing files, skip forbidden files, skip files with invalid names. All these functions you can do in this fault tolerance. Next one, staging. You can enable staging to temporarily store data in blob storage before loading it into the final destination. So when you are copying the binary files, the copy data process is fast and simple, like copying files on your computer. So this is all about copy data activities. Here user properties, this is nothing to discuss. So here we have discussed about the copy data activity, how it was and how to configure its settings. So this is all about copy data activity in Azure Data Factory. Thank you.